I am Bhairavi Mahale, your host for the B School Insider, and I can't wait to interact with you and get your on-ground stories from a student to being an aspiring student to being a part of IIM Rohtak.
My name is Vidit Jabbar. I'm Piyush Gupta.
I'm Sanya.
What separates IIM Rohtak from other B schools?
Almost everybody and everything that happens on campus is student driven.
How was your PI experience at IIM Rohtak?
They were asking questions after questions, but I think that's just the beginning of the journey here at IIM.
That's absolutely right. And you're a fresher, so how tough was it to build your
I think
profile?
everybody in this country joins an MBA program to get a good placement. That is something which is for sure. It is a perception amongst many HRs that we want somebody that we can mold. So sales and marketing is particularly notorious for hiring freshers because they need people who are not used to perhaps sitting in an AC room all day.
But do you remember how was your first day at IIM Rohtak?
But I'm telling you, day one pay, they'll tell you that your academics have to be upright or we're gonna throw you out of the campus.
My perspective of your undergraduate was very heavily inspired by Three Idiots and Student of the Year. So I thought that 3 years of your college is supposed to be all party, all fun, and like you come late at night.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
I would like to know your background, like if you could introduce yourself in short.
My name is Vidit Jabbar and I am from Neemach, Madhya Pradesh. So I've done my schooling from here itself. And after that, I gave DUJAT exam to get admission in business economics honors at Delhi University. During my graduation, I also did a couple of internships. And after that, I wanted to join high-end roles in finance primarily. So I decided to go for an MBA. And that's where I started preparing for CAT.
That's great. Piyush?
So thank you, Vervi, for having me, first of all. Secondly, hi guys, I'm Piyush Gupta. I'm currently a fourth year IPM student and a first year MBA student at IIM Rohtak. I am from Lucknow and I've done my bachelor's of business administration from IIM Rohtak itself. For me, going for an MBA right after my BBA was partly a personal decision and partly also because my interests aligned with an MBA right after my BBA as well. So unlike Mudit, I am interested in marketing and strategy, and so a lot of those roles become activated once you have an MBA. So that's a little bit about me.
So, hello everyone. I'm Sanya, and I did my graduation in BSc Honors Agriculture, which is a 4 year degree. So, in the last year of honors specialization, so you get 6 months of research and you get 6 months of internship. So, during my internship, I was a business operations intern, and during that time, I immediately realized that I wanted to go for an MBA, and that's how I started preparing for CAT. It then I took a break of around 2 to 3 months. So I was offered a placement, a PPO from the organization I was interning for, but I did not take that job because I wanted to go for MBA. Then prepared for CAT, took 2 3 months extra around after my graduation, and then I got into IIM Rohtak.
That's nice. So Piyush, as someone who has joined right after 12th standard, so what was your biggest factor that led you to choose an integrated program and not two different separate programs like and bachelor's and PGs and choosing going ahead with the integrated program? So what were the factors that led to it?
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say this, but for me, the biggest sole factor was safety. The point behind getting into an IPM program is that you come out with an MBA for sure. You obviously have the option to leave midway, but it basically gives a lot of direction to your life. So somebody who was as confused as me right after my 12th, it was perhaps a good decision. Secondly, the safety. I come from a humanities background. So it was either pursuing law, UPSC, or thirdly, it was something called IPM, which is, I don't know, for some reason open to people from all streams. So I ended up giving a lot of exams. I gave CUET as well. I gave IPMAT as well. So IIM Rohtak was the best opportunity I got out of all of those. I got into a few colleges from North Campus as well. But for reasons that I've already mentioned, I decided to join IIM Rohtak.
Right. Mudit, so what was your journey like before joining IIM Rohtak? Like, how were your CAT prep and what were the key challenges that you faced?
I think one of the key challenges that I faced was maintaining consistency because during the graduation also there are so many activities throughout that we have to fulfill, and there are so many commitments from academics to sports. There are so many clubs, committees, and everything. So I think maintaining a consistent routine where you are, following a particular plan and every day working towards achieving it. So that was a challenge, but I had like a proper structure, study plan, and I did follow it rigorously. So I think that helped. And even I think if you take any test series, that also adds up to it.
So I got enrolled in IMS in my final year of graduation, and so it took me more of 1.5 years to prepare for CAT. So it started off with when I was already in my grad college. That time I started preparing. So one whole year I took to understand what kind of concepts are there in order to crack CAT, because I was not from a mathematics background. So for VARC, since day one, mock one, or you call it mock zero, I was a 92 percentile. So it was never an issue for VARC. But LRDI, I had did it in my 10th because they are NTSC, STSC, those kind of exams you prepare for. But quant was something which was very difficult for me, and IMS especially. Nimish sir, I used to study from, and my God, only he was the person who could get me through quants, because I started off with, I'll tell you, 16 percentile, and my final CAT attempt was 94 percentile in quant. Just clear your concepts, make sure that you study each and everything that is provided to you, and then you practice a lot, and you give your mocks a lot on time. That's what I did, and I think that was very easy for me to scale through after that.
So, how was your PI experience at IIM Rohtak? Like, what kind of questions were you asked?
So, personally, for me, my PI happened right on the IIM Rohtak campus itself. And for me, it was, to be honest, quite grilling. Like, I was asked a lot of questions about my academics from a range of subjects, especially economics, because that was my forte. But yeah, they were asking questions after questions, and but I think the key here is to not be, to be confident and try to speak fluently. What they are, I think, really looking for is that you have some knowledge of whatever you've studied. You're not completely blank on any ideas. And then there is also extempore in between, where they give you a random topic to speak about for a couple of minutes. But I think that's just the beginning of the journey here at Amrut.
That's absolutely right. So Piyush, like there's a specific process that IIM Rohtak follows for MBA aspirants. So how was your interview process, or was there even an interview process for you before getting into IIM Rohtak? Like, what was it? How was your admission process?
As for my interview, I relate with Mudit in this regard because there is not a lot that you can ask a 12th grader other than academics.
Correct.
So for me, I had mathematics in my class 12th. So most of my interview was around 50% of it. There were no HR questions. 50% of it was around mathematics. The other 30% was around economics, and around 20% was miscellaneous. And I also had an extempore, which obviously generally relates to contemporary topics. And I got into IIM Rohtak back in 2022. So my topic was on Atmanirbhar Bharat, which I think is still
Yeah.
quite relevant. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is how it went for me.
So basically, my IIM Rohtak interview was the last one. So basically, I got in a total 6 calls, and I converted 4 of them. So and before IIM Rohtak, all of my interviews were done. So I got into IMT Ghaziabad, I got into IMI Delhi, I got into IRMA, and IIM Rohtak interview went like they start from your CV. Basically, most of the IM interviews I have heard or talked to my peers also, they will go through your CV only if you do not have a work ex. If you have a work ex, it will go through your work experience. What did you do? Why did you leave your job? And everything around that. But if you're a fresher like me, whole of your thing will be based on your graduation, on your internships. That's how it was for me. They asked me, why do you want to switch from agriculture to MBA? What did you study in agriculture? Then basic GK, you should know what is happening in and around the world and in your country. So just before my interview, on the day of my interview, the farm laws and the protests were happening, and the Delhi borders were completely blocked by the farmers and everything. So I knew that they were going to ask me about it, as I'm from agriculture. They wanted to know my view on it. Now they asked me that what is the news today? What is the news 1 hour back? And I knew it because on the way to the campus, I was reading a newspaper. So you should do that. You cannot expect them to ask anything and everything only on concepts. So they want to know that you should also know a news that came out 1 hour before you entered the examination hall or the interview hall. You should be that prepared. So there are two people or three people in the panel, mostly in PIs, and one person will not ask you anything. They'll be there just to see you, observe you. The moment you enter the hall and the moment you leave the hall, all while you're sitting there, they are only to observe your body language, how confident you are, how confident you are with your concepts, how positive you are, how much you're smiling, how enthusiastic you are to get in that college. They notice everything.
Nice. So Mudit, as you mentioned, you're a fresher. So how tough was it to build your profile? Like how tough was it to, showcase your strong key areas in your resume? And did you have any extracurricular activities that played a role? Like, how was it?
Yeah, I think it is important, first of all, that even if you are a fresher, you need to have certain things that you have done. And extracurriculars do give you an edge because you're able to then relate a lot of experiences. For me, it was the things that worked out were I was a part of societies back in DU. Like we had Biznomics, so I was secretary and I also served as treasurer there. Then I also had a couple of internships with me beforehand. So all these experiences basically allow you to formulate better answers and provide some points where you can relate with situations because you could be given those kind of questions also. And
Piyush, the same question goes to you as well.
So, like, just for the people watching, so I am also a fresher by definition because I'm an IPM student. I went for an MBA just after my BBA, and IIM Rohtak does not give you the option to defer your admissions for a year or two. So naturally, I just completed my BBA back in May, and I am an MBA student now. So I think everybody in this country joins an MBA program to get a good placement. That is something which is for sure. So
Correct.
obviously, to address the elephant in the room, you'll have some disadvantage as compared to people who have WorkX for certain roles, whereas you'll also have some advantages that people with WorkX don't have. So, for example, there are certain companies that come to campus which are very particular about culture and the people that they choose to hire. So, it is a perception amongst many HRs that we want somebody that we can mold. So,
Mhm.
sales and marketing is particularly notorious for hiring freshers because they need people who are not used to perhaps sitting in an AC room all day and things and whatnot. So I think the advantage basically hollows out. It basically cuts itself out compared with people who have WorkX. Secondly, how you deal with this situation is obviously work during your undergrad. And I don't mean full-time WorkX. I just mean you can choose to divide your CV into five main heads. Firstly, is your academic background, which you can't do much about if you're in college because your 10th and 12th are already settled. So the third head which gets left is perhaps your undergrad percentage, which I think should be high because it does help. A 999 profile or a 998 profile does help you with shortlisting. Secondly, you have internships. A branded name in your CV helps you a lot because ultimately, what the HR has to judge in those 10 minutes is if you're employable or not. And if a brand has chosen to trust you in the past, it is a message to them that they can do so as well. Thirdly, every college has some sort of academic research that you can take up during your tenure there. So that also helps you a lot to build some background in research. And fourthly, there are competitions. A lot of competitions on Unstop are open to a lot of undergraduate students across the country. So if you take out some time, build a team of like-minded people and participate in these competitions, they'll not only help you perhaps gain a CV pointer, but they'll also help you learn things that will be very relevant post your MBA.
That was very informative, Piyush. Thank you so much. So the next question goes to Mudit. So just want to know if there is any specific advice that you would like to give the aspirants who are preparing for IIMs or IIM Rohtak specifically.
I think my advice would be to first of all structure your preparation. Do not just keep going random in random directions. Have a proper plan. Keep your things organized. And I think that is where the role of, I think, coachings particularly come in play, because they do this for you. You are given a particular structure to follow. There are certain classes, and you go through a schedule. Um, and apart from that, I would say that you cannot really replace hard work. You will have to put in a lot of effort. It is required. You will have to practice, try to do a wide range of questions, particularly in DILR. You should give yourself exposure to as much variety as possible. That would really help on the CAT day. So that I think
And
you can do.
strategically plan your questions as well.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct. Right.
right. Yeah. So yeah, now let's get into the fun part, like the campus life and the culture at IIM Rohtak. So Mudit. So basically, now you're in first year, you might have got or may have not got any chance to participate. But do you remember, like, how was your first day at IIM Rohtak and campus, and what stood out for you?
Yeah, I do remember the first day. So after the registration, we had given like a short induction session where we were told about the academics and some rules and regulations of the college. Apart from that, mostly the afternoon was quite chill. I think the first day was probably the only day in the first few months where we had the least amount of things to do, because after the first day, it just keeps on getting as hectic as possible, maybe.
So IM life is mostly you won't be able to sleep. So if you are preparing for CAT, please sleep beforehand. You won't get time to sleep in the campus at all. All IMs follow this residential program, and they do this basically so you can work on your placements, your academics, and your extracurriculars. All of the IMs are mostly student-run campus. IIM Rohtak is a very student-run campus, so everything is done by students. You have different clubs and committees, and they are the ones that manage everything. So
Right.
you have a placement committee, and from that you have an academic committee, you have a hospitality committee, IT committee. Everything is catered to by the students itself. So first day was very terrifying, must tell you, because IIM Rohtak is a very strict campus.
Right.
You have to abide by rules anyhow. Your academics have to be top notch. But I'm telling you, day one pay, they'll tell you that your academics have to be upright or we're gonna throw you out of the campus. But the moment companies start floating in, some companies have this criteria that they will filter you out basically on your CGPA itself. So if you are not a 6 plus GPA, they are not gonna even let you sit for an interview. You are not even considered for that job. So do manage on your academics. They're not lying, they're just preparing you for the best. First is very hectic because you have to get your hostel rooms, then you get your roommates, you get all settled up. But in a week or two, it becomes very easy. And I always say to everyone, if you survive the first term, you can survive the 2 years very nicely. And the organizations are so well lit. You will enjoy so much. I don't miss home at times because you make friends, and campus life is really amazing. When you get into clubs and committees, you have a lot of work. So you study, you do your work, then you have no time left to even think that I miss home or anything that you're missing out on. So campus life is very good, I must say. I enjoyed a lot in my 2 years.
Yeah.
So IIM Rohtak is like, is known for its vibrant, student-driven culture. So could you talk about the clubs and committees that IIM Rohtak have, and how has it helped you, develop yourself?
Yeah, there are, I think, lots of different clubs and committees. So firstly, we have domain-wise clubs. Like if you are into finance, there is finance a club, there is marketing, HR, similarly for all sorts of domains. Then we also have other committees like a placements committee. There's a student body, student council, um, an industry relations body. So there are n number of clubs and various activities. There are also recreational clubs. which I'm particularly looking forward to them. So we have competition cell. There are various voluntary services and social service kind of clubs. There are also a couple of events that we host here. So TEDx and Infusion are two of them. So there we have separate teams for them. So
Just want to know from your point of view, like there's an IPM program as well, right?
Yes.
In Rohtak. So do you get along with those students of IPM program, or how is it? How is it like?
So basically, IPM students have been at campus for 3 years already, and
Yeah.
when you enter in your first year, it's the fourth year. So yes, starting 1 or 2 week, you will take some time to adjust with them, and they'll take some time to adjust with you because they've been at campus, they know more. But my batch IPM students were very helpful. There were things we didn't know and they knew already because they've been in the system. They helped us a lot to navigate through campus, tell us the cheat codes or tell us where the best food you'll get and everything. And today, if I tell you something, there is this one WhatsApp group of friends I have. We are around 12 to 15 people, and 9 people are IPMers, and only 4 or 5 of us are PGP students.
Okay.
You all will learn things for the very first time.
It's just
Yes,
that you know more about the campus than you
yes.
about into
And
campus.
also the program, they have been prepared for MBA. So for the first term, they'll know more the basic accounting concepts mostly, marketing concepts mostly. They'll know more. But if you've done your BBA or BCom, you also know that. I
Absolutely.
was from agriculture, so I didn't know anything. But my peers that have done BBA from outside IIM Rohtak also knew everything IPM students knew. So it's nothing different.
For the IPM program, like as it has a unique mix of undergrads and postgrad students, right? So how does this dynamic affect campus, their clubs and committees? Like we just wanted to know it from your perspective.
Okay, so I think the question that comes to mind in general, I think with a lot of the people that I've met on the outside is, do PGP folks and IPM folks mix well? And the answer is yes, at least at IIM Rohtak. So the problem with a lot of lesser mature IPM programs is basically when the PGP and IPM folks first come into contact, there's a lot of tension. And it is not because they can't get along well, it is just so that you already have your friends from those 3 years that you spent at a particular college. Now, I would say that where I am, Rohtak has particularly done well, and I'm sure that Indore and Bodh and Jammu have also must have also figured this out. Is you basically don't give people the opportunity to make silos. So I think the college handles this pretty well. All of your academic groups basically have one IPM member and the other have to be PGP. And there are all these rules, sort of, which basically set the ground rules for the playground. So the mixing part, I think we've done it pretty well.
That's nice. So now talking about academics and learning. So Mudit, how would you describe a specific day at IIM Rohtak?
So ideally, your day begins a bit early in the morning, I would say. You have your breakfast and rush towards the classes. Generally, we have 2 to 3 classes every day. Every class is there is a case almost in every other class, which we have to come prepared prior. And it goes along like we have concepts, if there are any otherwise case discussions. Um, After all the classes, there is a little bit of a break where we go for lunch. Soon after, we have a case discussion session where um, so we are divided in every class. We're divided in groups of 5 or 6 people. We usually come together and discuss on those cases, or if there are any group presentations, we have a little bit of time to sit together and work on them. After that, around 5:30, you mostly are on your own, like whatever commitments, other committee commitments that you have, or if you have signed up for any events, you can give time to that. Or if you are studying anything apart from that, you can probably devote some time. Otherwise, people mostly either work on other cases, prepare for their upcoming exams.
Piyush.
So I think Mudit has covered the parts of MBA pretty well. So I think the part that gets left out is those 3 years that I
Yes.
spent here. So I think what MBA does very differently, or at least how it's handled in IIM Rohtak. I'm sure this is the case for other IPM programs as well. So in IPM, most of my time, I remember it being spent in matlab, focusing on academics. Secondly, I was a part of a club as well. So the club culture at the IPM at an undergraduate level is not so pervasive as it is in MBA. So there are roughly 34 slots out for a batch of 180. So only 34 people are in a club or committee, and that is by design. There are only these many slots, so it is a lot more competitive as compared to MBA. And you basically do events and so that people are happy, because at the end of the day you need to have an environment wherein people can work hard and they can enjoy. So we had all these sorts of cultural events which was everything was student driven. So again, talking from an IPM USP perspective, event management, things of that sort, negotiating with the office, negotiating with the administration, negotiating with vendors, you start doing that from a very early age, which I think will be beneficial to everybody.
So, from Piyush's perspective, like you have spent almost 4 years at IIM Rohtak now. So, do you think like what separates IIM Rohtak from other B schools? Like you might have heard experiences from your friends. So, what like separates IIM Rohtak from other B schools?
So I think what sets IIM Rohtak apart, firstly, is the focus on student-driven activities. It is something that IIM Rohtak takes great pride in, that almost everybody and everything that happens on campus is student-driven. So, for example, we recently had Rajiv Bajaj on our campus, who was there to talk about his new book, and he's the MD and CEO of Bajaj Capital, and all of that, the from the starting to the end, all of it was handled by people from our batch or their seniors basically. So that is something which is very new, which is something I think we do differently. Although every IIM is student driven, I feel like, but this is my perspective.
Did you try giving your cat in your second year or anything? Like, did you start preparing for your post grad since when you were in your second year? Like, how was that journey like?
Okay, so I think for any aspirant after your graduation, you have two options: basically go for WorkX or you give MBA, or you give obviously CAT or any other MBA exam. So I also did decide to give the CAT exam, and I actually had a decent percentile, and I was getting admission in other new IIMs. Although I did have some calls from the older IIMs, but I was not able to convert those calls. So for me, it was a personal decision because I was already used to the campus life here at IIM Rohtak. I had a lot of friends here as well. So I decided to stay back. But yes, I also gave CAT.
Okay, great, great. Getting into the internships part, like summer internship part, this question is from Mudit. So, your process, internship process, summer internship process might have started right now, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how is it like? How is your experience sitting at, IIM and giving interviews for those summer internship opportunities? Like, how is it going for you?
So basically, generally, whenever there is a company on the campus, our placement committee, they create a email draft and they forward it to the batch. Those who are interested, they apply, and which is generally followed up by a test they are taking, the company is taking, and then a JD and a PI. So far, like I have only given like tests and the assessments. Really, still I'm just still waiting for any JD or interview rounds to happen for my profile.
Okay, you'll get a call soon.
Mostly IIMs and mostly colleges have their set placement weeks and they are conducting placements, but IIM Rota gives you a lot of opportunities, be it comes to final placements or be it comes to summer internship. Company starts floating in, and you have ample companies coming in, like a lot of recruiters coming in. You'll get a lot of opportunities. The exposure is really great. You have companies from all the domains, be it marketing, sales, finance, operations, HR, everything. Even one company sometimes offers all these roles, which my summer internship company did. And talking about preparation for it, prepare on your CV because your summer internships mostly depend on your top one grades and your past experience and everything. The CV you took for your MBA college interviews is the same CV you will take for your summer internships because you haven't done anything. Yes, you can do some live projects till your summer internship starts, which will help you a lot. If your CV is a half pager, try to make it a full pager. Obviously, do some courses, do some live projects. It will help you a lot. But mostly, it will be around the CV you had before you came to college. So, on that, only you have to fight.
So talking about the your key takeaways from all till the time you have been at IIM Rohtak. So, what would be that one thing you wish you had known before being part of IIM Rohtak? Mudit?
The academic rigor, probably. I think, like Piyush also mentioned, it is taken quite seriously over here, and it does take a while. I think, especially for the MBA students who join in here, we're very new to this kind of academic culture, and how just there is initially it could. I think it is overwhelming for some of us at least to get used to it, but I think it's a part of the journey, and we're gonna enjoy it.
For
Absolutely.
IPM, I wish I knew how rigorous an MBA program can be, because
Mm.
my perspective of your undergraduate was very heavily inspired by Three Idiots and Student of the Year. So I thought that 3 years of your college is supposed to be all party, all fun, and like you come late at night and you have a lot of fun. So one thing that differentiates all IIMs from all the other colleges is that all the courses are obviously in-house. So you have to live on campus. And so that notion of going outside and partying all night and coming to your own room at 4 a.m., that does not fly very well or does not sit very well with anybody.
MS Excel is so important. You are always working on sheets.
Uh-huh.
You should know how to use it and not just beginner, intermediate level, advanced Excel. You should know. If you have time right now, work on it. Work on your Word, PPT, and Excel skills. It's gonna help you so much. And it's not just in when you're doing your MBA, even in your jobs and internships. It literally separates you from the crowd. A
Right.
lot of people do not have advanced Excel skills. If you can learn it beforehand, it will be very, very helpful. Second, your reading. You
Right.
have to learn how to read in speed, because in exam you'll get a 20-page case, and you have to read it also, you have to analyze also, and you have to answer it also, all in 2 hours. You won't get time.
Right. So, Piyush, do you have any specific advice for someone who is in class 12th right now and considering IPM program at IIM Rohtak?
So I just think if you're very clear about what you want 5 years down the line, it doesn't have to be specifically, I want to be a product manager at Microsoft. It doesn't have to be that specific, but just something like I would like to do something in marketing. Even that level of clarity in class 12th helps you basically carve a way for yourself. So if you're thinking about IPM and you think that an MBA is something that you want to pursue,
So I just want like that one line advice for CAT, MBA, or IPM aspirants right now from both of you. Like one line advice. So Piyush.
so can yeah, so I think I'd like to start and end with a cliche: practice, practice, and practice. That's my advice.
Yeah, my advice would be that work hard, create a proper plan, and rigorously follow it till the end. Because even your journey at a B school would require you to have these qualities.
Okay, so we'll end this session here. So thank you so much for your time. I am very sure like your experience will always benefit someone out there who is aspiring IIM Rohtak as their dreams college. So thank you so much for your time and efforts. Thank you.